Welcome back to Amazon Cloud Architecting. Today we are starting module number 9, and module number 9 is about securing user application and data access. And this is a guided lab today, and the title of the lab is, as you can see, securing applications by using Amazon Cognito. Now, I was going through the instructions of this lab, and it has around about 100 instructions here. So I'm assuming that it's going to be a bit lengthy lab, but first try to understand that what's the main objective of this lab. The main purpose of this lab is to secure an application by integrating Amazon Cognito to user authentication and authorization. Instead of building our own login system, we'll be using Cognito to manage user sign up and sign in, access control and temporary security credentials, as well as integration with the AWS services for secure resources access. Now, next question is that why are we actually doing it? So just try to understand that creating a Cognito user pool would help us in setting up a user directory by handling the registration and login. Users can sign in with the username and password or social identity providers like Google or Facebook. And then it also helps us in configuring the authentication flow. Application will use Cognito to validate the identity before allowing the access and ensure the authenticated users can access the applications. Then we'll be assigning the access permissions with Cognito identity pools. Users can be assigned to temporary AWS credentials to access the specific resources. This means that the app doesn't need to store AWS keys, making it more secure. So that's what they are explaining here as well. And the duration of the lab is around 60 minutes, and then AWS service restrictions will be there. They're talking about a scenario that you have Bird's web application, which was built by using the Node.js server using the AWS Cloud9 instance and Amazon Cloud Storage Services. S3 bucket with the static website hosting the capability. Now that's our setup on Cloud9, and we have S3 bucket over here, and we have Amazon Cognito identity pool, and then we have Bird's DynamoDB database table used over here. Now this is a user with a web browser. It's going to CloudFront and to the S3 bucket, and from there we'll be going to Amazon Cognito managed user interface, and that would forward the details to our Cloud9, and from there we'll be talking to the database as well, and the CloudFront distribution would be communicating with the other services. So there is an explanation of the thing, and then they are trying to explain the setup which we have over here. Try to read it and understand it, and then try to access the console. So task number 1 is preparing the lab environment. We are working on that, and then we'll connect to AWS Cloud9 IDE, and then we will copy certain things from here. So I would highly recommend to create a notepad file as we did earlier in one of the labs, so that we can maintain lots of details which would be required in this lab. It would make it a bit easier and faster in order to work on it. And then we'll be using wget and some of these tasks to complete the process for preparing the lab environment. So like always, first of all, we'll go to our console. Just make sure that your environment is ready. After that, in task number 1, they are asking us to click on AWS details. So you can click it from here, and then copy the URL for Cloud9, and then we'll create a notepad file with these details, and then we'll paste this thing on Cloud9. So we can copy the URL from here, and then you can open it in another tab. So it would load the ID and environment of Cloud9 similar to this one. Now here on the lower end of this window, we'll be typing in certain commands over here. So you can click on this button so that you can get a full screen interface of this one, so that we can easily see what we are doing over here. After that, once the page would open, we'll have to paste this thing over there. But before that, let me show you that I have created a notepad file, and I'll be entering the details for the S3 bucket details, which would appear once we execute this script. So here we will paste the script which was there and press enter, and once it would stop over here, you'll have to press enter once again. Now once that's done, keep an eye here that I copied the S3 bucket name from here and your CloudFront distribution domain name from here to the notepad file that we created. So my S3 bucket name is appearing here, and I have my domain name here as well. Now once that's done, we'll go back to the interface. We'll click on website, and then I'll click on scripts, and then I'll select this config.js and drop it here. So you'll get some more details about the config.js over here. So once that's done, they're saying to change the address on our file and then save it. So we are going to do the same thing on config.js, and we'll save the things. So this was our config.js file, and you can see that it's asking for node server str and an address is here. So this means that we'll have to change this address from here. And if you remember that when we executed the script, we copied these details from here to our notepad file. So I'm going to copy the same details from here. I'll go back and paste the address over here instead of this one. Once that's done, click file and click save. Now next step is that since we are using S3 bucket to host the website, we'll have to upload the application to the S3 bucket, and in order to do that, we'll have to copy the details from here, and we'll paste this information on our notepad file again. If you'll see closely that again they need some information about the S3 bucket over here, and this information was available for the script which we copied earlier, and this information appeared on that. So we are going to change or replace this address with this one, and after that we are going to copy these details from here, and we'll go back to our IDE environment, and in this one click on this icon again, and here I'm going to paste the script and press enter. So now it will download certain files on the system. Once that's done, in the next step they're saying to copy this command and again paste it over there. So we'll paste this command here and press enter. Now as you can see that it has started a service on port 8080. So we'll have to check it that what is this service, and for that we'll have to copy a URL, and that URL would be the address of our CloudFront distribution domain. So we'll copy it from here. Open another tab and paste the address, and you'll be able to see a website similar to this one. And you can see there is some information on this one. If we'll click on admin login, it's saying that you don't have access to Cognito. So even if we'll try to go to report and try to log in, it says the same thing, that please check the updated configuration with your Cognito URL. So we are going to fix this thing now. So that's what they are explaining in task number 2, to go and click on the buttons and see that how they are working. Now next step, which is task number 3, they are asking us to configure the Amazon Cognito user pool. So in this task, we'll create an Amazon Cognito user pool to create users and update the application to use the user pool. So in order to create the application, we'll have to go to the Cognito console, and then we'll go to user and pools, and we'll create a pool, and we'll name the pool as bird app client. So we are going to copy this thing from here. So now here we'll type in Cognito and we'll enter, and then we'll click on user pool, And since there is no pool here, we'll have to create a pool. So here under your name your application, we'll paste the name that they told us, and then we'll select username here. And then under required attributes, click on email. And now for the return URL, we'll have to go to the instructions manual. And as you can see that they are saying to copy this thing and replace the CloudFront domain name with the address that we have. So since we copied it earlier, I'm going to copy the domain name from here, and I'm going to replace it with this one here, and then I'm going to copy the entire URL and would paste it over there. Paste it here, and then create user directory. Now if you want to see the login page, you can click on this one, and this one would be your login page, but we haven't configured it, so for the time being we'll close it and we'll go back to our main page. Once that's done, we are going to click on this icon and click on user pools. In this one, we are going to click on the pool that we created 5 minutes ago. Click on this one, and you can see the rest of the details up here. Next is that we'll click on rename over here, and we'll rename it to Bird App. Next, we'll copy the user pool ID from here, and we'll paste it on our sheet that we created earlier. So we don't need this information from here, and we don't need this information. So now we have S3 bucket details, we have CloudFront and user pool ID. Now we'll go to recommendations and we'll click on Bird App Client. And after that, in this one, we'll click on Login Pages. Then under the Manage Login Pages, you'll click on Edit. Now you'll have to check under OAuth 2.0 grant type and just make sure that authorization code grant is chosen over here. Further, we want to add implicit grant, so we'll click on OAuth 2.0 and click this one as well. So then you can see you have authorization code grant and implicit grant over here. Further, under the OpenID Connect scopes, we need only email and OpenID, and we are going to clear the font from here. So click on this one, and after that, hit Save Changes. Now there's another piece of information that needs to be copied from here, which is our client ID, and then we'll open the same sheet and we'll copy the app client ID in here as well. Then we are going to click Edit up here. Now in this one, we are going to select the second option and uncheck this one. And we are not going to make any more changes over here. Hit Save Changes. Now we'll look at domains on left hand side. After that, they're saying to copy the domain address, so we'll copy it here, and the actual instructions are to copy the part of the URL after these slashes, and we'll copy it until before .auth. So we are going to copy only this part of it, and we'll keep it here, and we'll remove rest of it. So then we can cut it from here and we can paste it here. So we have covered all of these things, and now we are going to add users to the user pool. Now in order to add users, we look on our left hand side, and under user management we are going to click on users, and here we are going to create a new user by clicking either over here or over here, and then we'll provide the name details as provided in the instructions. So the name should be test user, and then paste the password provided, and then click on create user. Just make sure to update these details on your notepad file. So we have copied the test user username and password. Similarly, as per the instructions, they are saying create another user with the username admin and this password. So we'll follow the same steps. Create a user, provide the username as admin and enter the password and click create user. So you'll be able to see two users over here, admin and test user. Next step is that we'll have to create some groups. So we'll click on groups over here and we'll create a new group. So we'll create by clicking creating a new group, and then we'll enter the name as administrators. We are not going to make any changes here, and create group. Now we'll click on the group that we have created and we want to add some users to this group. So in order to add the user, I'll click add and I'll only select admin and click add. So now this admin has the administrator privileges. After that, you'll click on overview. So we have completed up to this part. Now we are moving on updating the application to use the user pool for authentication. Now in order to accomplish that, as you can see that we are going to Cloud9 IDE and then we'll go to website scripts and we'll be working in config.js. So since this application was running, we'll press Ctrl C to cancel it, and then we'll click on this icon to go back to our config.js. Next, they are saying on config.js we'll have to uncomment these four lines and we'll have to then update the information that we have on our notepad file. So in this one, we are going to uncomment these 4 files and we will use this notepad file to change the information which we copied earlier. So first of all, we'll copy the domain prefix from here and we'll change this one and would paste it here. User pool ID would be this one. So we are going to change this one with user pool ID. Next, user pool client ID would be this one. So we'll replace it with this one, and for the last one we are going to copy this address and would paste the ID only up here. We'll place it and then click file and save. Once that's done, they are saying to copy this and paste it there. So we'll copy it again and paste it on IDE. So click on this button, paste it and press enter. Now before you'll copy, just make sure that you have updated the S3 bucket address on this one, otherwise it's not gonna work. And then paste it on your IDE and it would install something, and you'll see an output of it. Now next is they are asking us to copy the commands and update the JavaScript packages. That's done, and enter it. We have already copied it. So they are saying to go to package.json file and we'll have to make some changes over there, like we'll be changing some things on this one. So let's minimize it and try to locate under the node server, and then click on package.json and drag it over here. Now if you'll see in this one, we have Cognito user pool ID here, so we'll have to find that information on our notepad file, and you can copy the information from user pool ID and we'll replace it with this one here, and just make sure that you'll save the file after that. And once that's done, we are back on our instructions manual and we are completing task number 5. They are asking us to start the service node so that we can see the application running. So we'll go back to our IDE environment and paste it over here and click start. As you can see that it has started a web service. So in order to check the web service, we'll go back to our website. It's highly recommend to refresh the page first and then try to log in. And if you'll now go to different settings of it, as you can see, I haven't refreshed, so it's giving me an error message, and I think I'll have to refresh it again and try to log into the website again. Click on the birds thing and then go to settings and click login, and now it has fixed it. If it's not working, you can copy the URL again and try to open it in a new tab. It was giving me an error message over here since it's asking for the email address and it's still holding the cookie. So you can click email verified, or you can simply click on the user account here and then click on edit and enter the email address and mark it as verified so that it won't ask you over and over again. You can do the same for the admin account as well. So I'll try to log in again with the test user and the password. Just make sure that the password that you are entering over here is not the password which we have changed, but the actual password which was there on the notepad file itself. Now once you are logged in, you can see that you're logged in as the general user account but not as the admin account. So in order to make those changes, we'll have to make sure that we are going back to our admin account and we don't want any error messages there. So I'll click on edit and enter the email address and mark it as verified. So now if I'll try to enter the admin account after logging out the test user, it would ask me for the default username and password that we entered earlier. So we'll click on sign in as a different user. We'll enter the username as admin over here, and the password would be the same password which was there on our notepad file. I'll paste it here, click continue. It would ask us to change the password, so just make sure that you have an alphanumeric, uppercase, lowercase and a number in this one, and then click change password, and you know that it has accepted the password. Now we are logged in with the administrator account which belongs to the group of administrators. Now we'll configure the identity pool, and we'll go to the identity pools and then we'll click on bird app ID pool, and after that we are going to change the access on that. So I'm on my Cognito window, and then I'm going to click on identity pool. Click on your identity pool, and after that you'll have to copy the identity pool address from here and update it on your notepad file. And after that we are going to save the settings on this one. Click on user access and click on add identity provider, and after that I'm going to click on Amazon Cognito user pool, enter the bird app in the first one from the drop down list, and in the second one select the first option. After that we are not making any changes here, just click on create access. Now that's done. Now we are on task number 7, and we will be following the website under scripts, and we'll be changing on config.js since we'll be updating the application to use the identity pool for authorization. So I'll go to the command line interface and I'll press Ctrl C to cancel the service which was running, and after that I'll go to my left hand side on the menu and click on configure.js and enable this service again on configure.js, and then from our notepad file we are going to copy the entire address from UST East 1 till the end of the line, and we are going to paste the address up here, and again make sure that you have saved the file. Now once that's done, we'll go back to authentication.js, and then we are going back to line number 90 here, and you can see that we'll have to update the Cognito user pool ID. So we'll copy it from our notepad file as US East 1 address. It would be different in your case, so just make sure you're entering the address which is there on your notepad file, then file, click and save. After that, we'll go to the instructions again, and we'll have to copy certain files from here. We are going to copy it and paste it on our notepad file, and then we have only task number 8 left. So let's try to finalize this thing as well. We were point number 87, so we are going to copy this address from here, but as you can see that we'll have to update the S3 bucket details here. So I'm gonna copy the S3 bucket details from the top line here, and let's copy it, and then let's replace this address with, oh, I think I made a mistake there. I'll have to change it again because I removed the S3 thing from there, but anyway, I have fixed it in this one and executed it. Just make sure that you are only replacing the address on that one, and then you are going to copy this command and run it over here and press enter. Now again it has started the web service, and we'll go over here and you'll see that it would seamlessly change between the accounts, and we don't need to enter the username and password again. And as you can see, if I'll click on admin, it would just go back to the admin console without entering the password. So that was our lab on module number 9. That's it for today. Thank you very much.